Yes. All right. I think we are ready to start. Awesome. Okay. Hello, hello. It's Leila here again, back for another live video for you. Hashtag screens to greens, people. Let's share this and let's spread the word and let's grow the movement. So this one will be focused on, okay, so again, quickly, I'm Leila Miraskandari here. I've been growing kids gardens in schools and at homes, and I've been teaching parents and teachers since 2013. And I have been releasing free videos, a free workshop called Kids Grown Revolution. And so this workshop, as you probably know by now, it has 4 parts, and I just released the 3rd part of it yesterday. So this one is going to be focusing on the teachings in video 3 of the free workshop, which is called, again, Kids Grown Revolution. And if you've just heard about it right now, go ahead and click on the link that's in the description. So if you're from Zoom, if you're watching on Zoom, I am going to put it in the chat box again, as usual. And if you're watching on Facebook, or if you're watching on the replay on YouTube, the link is in the description, okay? So, and make sure that you find time and go watch it. Why? Because this video series is not going to be up forever. We're going to be taking it down soon, and we're already in video 3 of the entire thing. So you might want to check it out sooner rather than later, because later it might not be there. So here's what I want you to know. Even if your brain right now says, there is no way that I can do this for my kids, there is no way that I can give them a kids garden at my own home, and it's coming up with all kinds of true looking reasons for it, just know this, that your kids can have a magical food garden at your home starting today, okay? So it really is not rocket science, and it's a lot easier done than said, okay? So this is actually the opposite of what everybody expects. I was talking to a student of mine, last night, or 2 nights ago. Oh my God, time is bending for me. Anyway, just very recently, and her son was showing me his garden, and oh my God, like he was so pumped and happy, and his mom was so proud of him, and because their garden just exploded. I mean, not just, it has exploded during the past few months with food. And their complaint, and listen to this, their complaint was that they cannot keep up with the amount of food that it is producing. And I'm like, share, you know, family, friends, I mean, go ahead. And they are sharing. I'm not saying they're not sharing, but they were really not expecting that, no matter how much I told them, because I've seen this before so many times. So it was just permaculture in action. You should see this. It was so much abundance. There was so much abundance. And this could be your kids' garden. Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be? Don't listen to all those, nagging reasons that your brain is coming up with. That's just, it's tricking you. Trust me, it's easier done than said. We are not talking about acres of land here. Their garden is literally in a few containers. And it's producing way faster than they can even eat. So, and my student, she knew nothing. I mean, these are her words. She said, I know nothing about this at the beginning when she became my student, and she was so nervous about it. And you had to see her last night. I actually recorded it, and I asked for her permission, and she said, sure, please share this. So I'm actually editing the video, and I will be sharing it with you very soon, because I want you to see it. And this is, I've seen it many, many times before, but this one was so fresh that I was like, I just need to share this with people today. So I actually had a script for this live video, and I'm like, ditch that. I'm going to tell them about this because it's so exciting. And I want to share with you the positive experience, because the more you think about it, the more of that positivity is going to come to your lives and to your kids' gardens and to your home. So there you have it. So her son was so pumped and so brave and so excited that he was like, oh, you know what? Next year I'm going to do this, and I'm going to try this plant, and I'm going to try that plant. And I'm like, you don't even need to wait for next year. You can start planting a fall garden with cold crops. And I told him which crops and all of that. And he's like, oh my God, I'm going to go get started on it right now. So it's because seriously, I live in Canada. It gets cold here in winter, and we grow food in winter. We just come indoors, and in fall for sure you can do it, right? So here's the thing: he was so empowered. That's the important part. He was so empowered, and that's why you want your kids to grow a garden, because it's really empowering. You have to, listen to my tips and do it right, but it's empowering. I'm serious. It was really awesome. So let me do a review of all of the 5 tips that I shared with you in video 2 and video 3 right here. So we discussed the first 3 in depth in the live video that we had for video 2, because those 3 were the ones that we discussed in video 2 days ago. So I'm just going to mention them. I'm not going to go deep in them because we already did that. And then we're going to get deeper into the last 2, which we discussed in video 3. Okay? So these are the 5 tips, my 5 practical tips, the top ones that I want you to pay attention to when you're starting or when you want to continue growing better with your kids. So tip number 1 was give your kids their own garden. Number 2 was put their garden where they already are. Number 3 was hard work is forbidden in a kid's garden, and these we discussed them thoroughly in video 2 live. And the last 2 in video 3 were number 4, essentially, was don't grow things your kids are excited about. And number 5 was sunlight and water access. So we discussed those 2. So let's get into those. So when I say don't grow things your kids are excited about, people are like, they think they heard it wrong. They're like, hold on, do I or do I not? And I'm like, you do not. So did I grab your attention? Good. Now listen up. This is important because one of the main contributors to failing kids gardens, the 2 main contributors to failing kids gardens are these. Number 1 is wrong plant selection. Number 2 is disappointment. Okay, so you want to avoid these 2 problems. Now, in terms of plant selection, you want to start your kids on quick and easy plants. Okay, so no matter what age they are, 2.5 years old all the way to teenagers and up, patience is not something that comes to them naturally. Sometimes even adults, and that's why I said and up, sometimes even adults have problem with being patient about their garden or anything. Actually, patience is not an easy thing. It's a skill that needs to be learned. So you want things that poke their heads out of the soil in 1 or 2 days, and you want things that are ready to eat in 1 or 2 months. If your kids are excited about growing big tomatoes and cucumbers, by the time those poke their heads out, they have already forgotten about planting them, even depending on their age. And then you have to drag them back and say, hey, come see, these things are growing. And they're like, oh, yay. And then they go, and there's 4 months later, and a dozen problems and disease and pests. And, it gets to, like here in Canada, it gets to end of summer, beginning of fall. And if we're unlucky and we get cold faster than usual, those green tomatoes freeze on the vine, and we're like, oh, seriously, people. It's, of course your kids they're not interested, because this is boring and disappointing. You don't want that. You get the gist, right? So you want the right plans. It's important. It's important to start them on the right plans that give them that empowering, quick results. What I always ask parents to start their kids on, no matter how good you are at growing food, it doesn't matter, okay? You want your kids to start with these 5 plants: arugula, mustard green, radish, spinach, and leaf lettuce, okay? So these are the 5 I want you to start your kids on. Your kids might not be excited about these. So don't go and ask them, what do you want to grow in your garden? Because what if you live in an apartment and they want to grow bananas, right? Bananas are not easy to grow. And even if you have land, you still might not be able to, to fit it in. And like, it's difficult. That's a difficult thing. It's exciting to be able to grow bananas, yes. And if you ask your children, they might want to do that. But here's the thing. Remember, the second thing that actually creates failure in a kid's garden is disappointment. So you don't want to put yourself in a situation that you give them no right off the bat when they haven't even started growing anything, right? You don't want to start there. You want to start with empowerment. And people are like, but my kids won't eat any of those 5 plants. Who cares, people? It doesn't matter. Just the act of growing it to the stage that people can actually eat it, no matter who's eating it. It could be you, it could be their dad, their mom, their grandparents. Doesn't matter. That's enough. That's exciting enough. That's stimulating enough. That's empowering enough. Okay? And if they grow it, they will at least have the tendency to try it. Even if before they were like, I'm not going to try that. They will try it. Even if they try it and they still don't like it, it still doesn't matter. Getting them to grow is what we want to do. Getting them to eat that comes after, and it needs a few more tricks than just growing food. Okay, so that's what I want you to pay attention to when it comes to tip number 4. Now, tip number 5, and we are finally getting into the physical gardening elements of it all. So far, we've been talking about parenting and mindset, and those are very, very important. That's why the first 4 tips are related to that. So you want your kids' garden to have at least 4 hours of direct, strong sunlight shining on the plants, okay? And it doesn't have to be 4 hours in a row. It just needs to add up to 4 hours, and it needs to be strong. So if it is not strong enough, like it's kind of shining through the leaves of a tree or something like that, you want it to be longer, a lot longer. It needs to be 4 hours of direct and strong sunlight. So different plants need different amount of sunlight, I know. But one of my main goals always is to keep things simple for you, as simple as possible. When you're just getting your kids started on this, or you're just figuring out, these 4 tips, 5 tips, and I've been doing it wrong, so let's do it, in a different way. You don't want to have to go online and get confused about how many, number of sunlights does this one need or does that one need. Hold on a minute. Hello. Okay. I hope that it's not noisy. So whoever's joining on Zoom, can I ask you guys to please mute yourself? That would be awesome. Thank you. Okay, so where was I? So you don't need to, go online and find out this needs this many amount of sunlight and this means that many amount of sunlight. You don't want to get confused, and it's really, really simple. Guys, people, please, it's really, really simple. It's simple. That's why I want to, be focusing on the 4-hour rule, because we want to keep it simple. This is my mantra, that keeps us, going in our Oasis Kids Club. And it's an online club we have for parents and grandparents. By the way, I am opening registration to it tomorrow, actually, only for 5 days. And I will be releasing a 4-part of this series explaining, in this 4 part number 4. I'm not going to be teaching anymore, but I'm going to be explaining to you exactly what you're going to get in this club if you want to join us and all that. But that's for tomorrow. What I was saying is, in this club and in anything else that I do in my courses, anywhere, our mantra is to keep things simple. We are busy parents, and we really deserve kids gardens that are easy and they're chore-free and they're simple. And at the same time, we want them to be magical and beautiful and producing and exciting and stimulating, so that, you know, the kids put the screens away and, you know, get excited about it and come outside. And it is all possible, very, very possible. And my students are already doing it, as I was just telling you about my student that I was talking to last night. And I will be actually editing that because I asked her permission and she said sure. So I'm going to be sharing an edited version of that video that I recorded with her. So because I want you to see that it is possible. So that's why I'm telling you, keep it simple. And we're sticking to the 4-hour rule, because 4 hours of direct, strong sunlight on your kids' plants. First of all, if you do those 5 that I just told you about, the 5 plants I want you to start your kids with, those, I mean, 4 hours is way more than enough for those plants, and also for most of the famous vegetables that you ever might want to grow with your kids. Those 4 hours, as long as they're directly shining on the plants and they are strong, then it's enough. So let's stick to the simple rules so that we can move forward, okay? And don't get stuck with, okay, how many hours of sunlight does this one need, or does that one need, or that? We don't want that, okay? So, so wherever you put your kids' garden, make sure that it gets 4 hours of direct, strong sunlight. And water access. Water access is also very, very important, because if you've been paying any attention to any of the teachings in this free workshop, you know that we are designing a chore-free garden for our children and for us too, because we don't want extra work that's unnecessary. Okay, that's one of the permaculture principles as well. And we want things to be really, really easy, and kids don't like chores. So we want the necessary chores, if there is any, we want to eliminate them, but if there is any chores, we want it to be really easy for them so that they can do it without your help. So you need a lightweight hose that is brought to their garden, and it's really easy to work at with a nozzle at the tip of the hose, because you don't want your kids to have to go back and forth, carrying heavy watering cans, and you don't want them to go back and forth to open and close the water. You want it to open and close right there, and you want a lightweight hose that they can handle so that they don't need your help to do the chores, okay? So, so that's it. So we want to make it simple for them. We want to make it easy for them, and we want to make it simple for us, because we are busy enough and we don't need a lot of, you know, headache added to our plate. Okay. So to review again this entire thing, video 2, video 3, we talked about giving your kids their own garden, putting it where they already are. We said hard work is forbidden in a kid's garden. We said don't grow things that your kids are excited about. And we talked about a 4-hour rule for sunlight and easy water access for your kids' garden. And pay attention to these 5 tips, and you'll not only have an easy garden for your kids, but it's going to be magical and amazing kids' garden. I promise you that. So that's it for this entire free series. If you guys like it and you resonate with it, please share. Hashtag screens to greens, and know that this was a very tiny example of what I offer to my Oasis Kids Parents Club members, and I really hope that you guys join us. And so I'm going to tell you all about it tomorrow, because I'm opening registration tomorrow, and it's really affordable, and you're going to see tomorrow. So don't go away yet. I will send the part 4 video to you tomorrow, and we will have more live videos about it and all that. So go get the link in the description if you're not in the workshop yet, because you're gonna have, now that we're kind of getting closer to the end of it, just know that it's not gonna be up forever. So go and get it, and get in there and watch the videos and start learning. And I am going to see you very soon. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Please share. And I'll see you in the workshop, and I'll see you tomorrow about the opening of our Oasis Kids Parents Club. Okay. Ciao.